If you're using a business process flow for approvals, chances are one of the things you really want to be able to do, and this question comes up a lot, is stop the person from going any further through the process if the approval is in fact not approved. Let me show you how we do that. Here's my starting point. Check out my previous video on how we've built the approval process and the flows and things behind it if you haven't already seen it. So first thing I might try is to say, let's put that approval status inside the business process flow and make it mandatory. There's a couple of problems with this, and I'm going to show you how we solve them and get to the right outcome here. So I've requested my approval. What happens now if Dan goes, do you know what? Nope, rejecting that. We come back in here. Let's refresh this. You'll see here that even though it's rejected, I can still very happily move along to the next stage. The other problem with this approach is that the person could also just change that to approve. So this is no good at all. We need to do something better than this. Pop back over into my solution here. I'm in my equipment ordering solution, equipment order, and here are the columns. So instead of this approval status column, which is clearly not serving us very well, what we're going to do is create a different type of column, which is a yes/no column. And a yes/no column will behave differently than a choice column in that business process flow. So we're going to call this one approved ? Now, you might notice if you've come straight from my previous video to this one that the user interface here has changed. That's not just you. Microsoft have actually done a big update to all of this between the time of recording these videos, so some things might not be where you expect. So what we're doing here is we're looking for a data type, and it's actually in this subheader of choice, but it's this yes/no data type. So we're going to make this one business required. Save that. Going to click into my business process flow over here in the process menu and choose that one. We'll come in here, we will remove that largely useless piece in there, and we're going to add a different data step in here, which will be that new one which is called approved. Don't forget to apply that, and then we click update to take in the changes to the business process flow. One last thing we need to do is to update our flow so that when the approval comes in and it's approved, it's going to change that to yes. So let's go across here into Cloud Flows. We'll find that equipment order approval request, click through to edit that, and then we're going to open this up through into this condition. So if yes, we built this one out last time, we said change the approval status to approved. We're actually going to go in here and say yes, and we'll put approved no in that side. Save that. Once it's saved, navigate back into the solution from here and publish all customizations. Succeeded. Let's see how this is looking now. All right, our business process flow now looks like this. I've run the flow. You'll see that because this is a yes/no column instead of that choice, it actually always has a default value. So it starts with no. This might be why you want to still leave that approval status there actually, because you'll see here when we start, the default is no, but the approval status hasn't come through. So this is kind of a not yet no. Let's go in, and Dan is going to have some fun, rejecting this one again. So here comes another one. Reject. Sorry, not in the mood for it today. Let's come back in here, refresh this, and you'll see now it is rejected. It's still saying no. And if I try to move this to the next stage, now I'm getting that behavior. It won't let me do it. So we still have this other problem to solve though, that the user can overwrite all of this. So we need to change this so that you can't edit it in the business process flow. Now, making a column read-only doesn't affect it in the business process flow. So we need to use something called a business rule to put in this last piece. There are two problems we're going to solve with the business rule. The first one is that we're going to lock it here because we don't want the person to be able to change it. But the other thing we need to be aware of is that when you create a new record, before the record is created, you can actually go in and kind of be a bit sneaky and put this in before you even create it. So we need to stop them from doing that as well. So back across into my solution here, I'm working on this equipment order, and I'm going to go into this section here that's called business rules. So the concept of business rules is that these are little simple rules we can use to hide or show columns, set them as locked, set them as mandatory or not, and that's the thing that's going to help us out here. So we're going to click through into new business rule to get started, and you'll see that I have a condition. First thing I'm going to do though is give it a name. So we're going to call this approval stage gate rule. And then we can close that to get the screen back. Now we always have to start with a condition, and we've got all of this in here. So my condition is when I first come in, I've got this order reference column that is mandatory. So I can use that to hinge off how I want other things to behave even before the record is created. So we'll go back into the business rule here. I'm going to look for the entity or table, which is equipment order, which is where I've started. The field or column, you'll notice this is actually still using the old language from Dataverse, so you just have to sort of go with that. We want to say, is this order reference? And then the operator gives us various things. So what I want to do here is to start with does not contain data. This requires a little bit of logical thinking, so work with me here. If this does not contain data, which is the situation now, the record is new and I haven't put anything in, because you have to put something in to save it, what I want is that they can't even see this. I don't want them to be able to go in and change anything. So what we're going to do here, we'll give this condition a name. Order ref does not contain data. Always click the apply, same as the business process flow concept. Go back into our components. So when there's nothing in there, I want to hide it. We use this set visibility option here. So we're going to set visibility of the approved option to no, can't see it, and always click apply. Now, once that does contain data, the record is saved and live, we need to be able to see that, but we don't want the person to be able to change it. So we'll go back into our components here, and I want to use this one here, which is called lock. Again, we're going to choose that field, which is approved, and the status of that will be locked, and we apply that. So all good. Let's save that. You'll see when I click save, it brings up the name that I gave it. It's validating, all happy, activate. Very similar to how you do with a business process flow. Confirm that you really did mean to activate it. And then you can close that tab, click done, and you'll see it appear in here. Let's give it a test, shall we? Back in my app, let's create a new order. There's nothing in the order reference field, and it's not even there. I can't cheat and go in and do that. Let me put something in now. So we put in our order reference number. Still not there because I've hidden it from the start and it doesn't know that that's been filled until I click that save button. So let's put in some other details here. It's Sam who's ordering it and he wants the chair. We'll save that. Let's refresh it. And now we have this in here, but look, it's locked. Can't change it. All secure. I can run the flow. Over to Dan, he's really tight on the budget. We're going to reject that one again, I'm sorry. We can see that it's been rejected. We can see that it's no, and I cannot move to the next stage, and I cannot go in and do anything about it. Stay tuned for my next video, and I will show you how to create some email notifications off all this. In the meantime, have fun with stage gating those approvals and stopping people from messing with them, and thanks for watching.